All right, and we will first turn to Cassandra. Cassandra, go ahead.
Hi, y'all. For Caitlin and DB, Caitlin, you had mentioned a couple of weeks ago everything came at you so fast in your rookie year, not just on the court, but living out of a hotel, finding a place to live, all of that. When you have the perspective now of going through your second training camp, what was the most difficult part of that? And for DB, with your experience, what were those first few years like, kind of experiencing a new place?
Yeah, I think any rookie coming into this league, all kind of experience the same thing. You're moving to a new city, you're meeting new people, have new teammates, have new coaches. You're trying to figure out how the WNBA works. So I think it's all just really new. Like you're starting to just a very new chapter of your life and you're trying to get your feet under you. So I don't know. I think going into year two, that's kind of the biggest thing for me is just I feel like I have experience in this league. I know what to expect. I know how training camp works, even though we have a new coach and I have a lot of new teammates. Like just having that experience of how things operate, I think has provided me with a lot of confidence.
I think just for me personally, I came from the South, like college in Auburn, and then I had to go all the way out to Phoenix. So that was a little different, a little scary. That was the first time that I left home. But thank goodness I had a couple of vets at the time and kind of guided me through it. But it's always scary, but just getting to know the place, getting to know your teammates, the coaches, and everything like that kind of helps you navigate. So definitely scary, but I think it's a lot of fun because you meet new people and it kind of forces you out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll turn next to Jonathan. Jonathan, go ahead.
Thank you, Ron. Hi, everybody. This is Jonathan Tannenwald of the Philadelphia Inquirer. One for Caitlin. First of all, I wonder what you make of a very busy offseason for the Fever and a lot of transactions and how that has changed this team. And then for DeWanna, for you, coming into this, you've obviously, you played against Caitlin. And what do you think it's going to be like this year playing with her as this team ramps up and tries to push forward and push higher? Thanks to all of you.
Yeah, I think Amber and Kelly did a really great job of constructing this team. And I think the main thing we were lacking last year was experience and, adding really great vets like DB and Sid and Tosh and putting that experience around us of not just being in this league, but also winning. They have the championship pedigree about them. And I think having their voices in our locker room on the court every single day is what's going to really help us. So, you got to give credit to Kelly and Amber and obviously Coach White, but now it's up to us to be able to put that all together. And I think everybody's been doing a great job. So it's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, obviously Caitlin's is a dynamic player and she just makes everyone around her better. So obviously being on this side of the ball with her is a lot more fun than guarding her, that's for sure. But she just kind of put everybody in position. We kind of play off her energy and how smart she is around the ball and just putting people in different places to be successful. So it's just been really fun getting to know her and getting to know her game. And we have a lot of energetic people around and on our team. So just feeding off her energy and her will to win. She wants to win. And that's been really fun. And getting to, run around with her is definitely better than chasing her around.
Right, thanks. We'll turn next to Jordan. Jordan, go ahead.
Hey ladies, Jordan from Television Sports. Hope you all are doing well today. So my first question is for Coach. When you first became the coach of the Fever, Natasha Howard was going into her second year. So I guess just talk about how excited you are to be coaching her again. And then for the players, what are you guys' individual goals this upcoming season?
Yeah, I'm really excited to have Tosh back in a Fever uniform and to be working with her again. When we got Tosh, she was this young, wide-eyed rookie, and just learning the WNBA, learning how to play, going from being that young, wide-eyed rookie to winning multiple championships, to winning a Defensive Player of the Year, to growing into a vet and a leader that she is. She's coming back a different player, a different person. As most of us know, sometimes life experience is just as valuable as basketball experience, and she's able to bring that experience to this group. And she's going to help us, on the floor with her versatility, with her ability to run the floor, with her defensive prowess, rebounding the basketball, and gives us another weapon.
And do you want to, I believe you got a question for players as well?
Yes, I was asking them both what are their individual goals this season?
I think for myself going into year two, I think just being a good leader. I think that's, when you're the point guard, you got to be the strongest voice on the floor. So I think at times that's where I struggled last year, just coming in as a rookie. Like you don't know when to use your voice, you don't know when to listen to your vets, you don't know the best way to handle a lot of those situations. So I think just learning and growing through that, I think just being a really good leader is my main goal. And obviously I want to play good basketball, but I think winning is the most fun part of this game that we get to play. So that's what it is for me.
And that. Yeah, kind of the same, just to win. Obviously I'm like a lead by example type of player, so just continue to do that. I feel like I've been around for a while. There's nothing that I haven't accomplished that I want, but to win another championship. So I'm just going to be honest, just to win.
All right, thanks. We'll go next to Courtney. Courtney, go ahead.
Hi, ladies. Courtney Harden from the Real Deal podcast. I wanted to ask all three of you, what are a few things you have learned about each other in the short amount of time that will help and translate on continue the team chemistry?
It's still a work in progress. Certainly, we've had 8 practices together and a couple of exhibition games. I think the most important thing for myself and is communication. I think clarity in our communication. We all have the same goals here, and that's to put ourselves in position to compete for a championship and ultimately win a championship. And there's a lot of new stuff coming at everybody. The system is new, offensively, defensively. DB's the only one who's been in that system, but she's got completely new teammates. So it's new for everybody. And I think the most important thing is that we're transparent, honest, and clear in our communication. We're going to naturally learn work style, work habits, putting each other in positions to be successful. We're naturally going to learn that through practice and on the floor. But the priority early has been communication and building relationship.
All right, thanks. We'll go next to Blake. Blake, go ahead.
Hey ladies, this is Blake Spadero from Blake's Take and W Swish.
Go ahead, Blake.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
This is Blake Spadero from Blake's Take and W Swish. What's the culture like on the team this year, and how is it different from last year? This is for Caitlin, and this is for Caitlin.
Well, I think first off, you can't compare the two. It's two completely different teams. Every team's going to find their own identity. And bringing in a lot of new players, a new coach, you're just trying to figure it out. And I think this kind of goes back to Steph's last question is you got to build relationships with your teammates and your coaches. You got to know how to approach them, how to communicate with them, what's going to work for them on the court, what's not going to work for them on the court. So I think we're building our culture. But I think the one common thing in our locker room is everybody's selfless. Everybody wants to win and they're excited to be here. Obviously we haven't really been in the complete, heat of battle yet. And those are the times that you really got to stick together. But I think, you just navigate that. But so far, I think everybody has been very selfless and, we all have the same goal that we want to achieve. But I think it just goes to building relationships with your teammates and being very intentional about that.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Excuse me. We will go next to Chico. Chico, go ahead.
Hey, this is Chico Noshun from The Score in Toronto. My question is for Steph. You coached against Caitlin in her very first game last year, as well as the final game of her rookie season. The growth she showed during that 4-month span, what kind of impression did that leave on you? And as you entered your own free agency and were looking for your next head coaching stop, does that kind of factor in your decision when you made that decision to rejoin the Fever?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I think, if you think back to the beginning of last season, there was a lot thrown at Caitlin from day one. New league, new players, everybody's bigger, faster, stronger, new coverages, different kind of depth. and for us as opponents, making everything as difficult as possible for her and on her, and trying to wear her down. When you're playing against great players, you're not going to stop them, right? You just have to try to make life as difficult as possible and try to get them to take shots that you want them to take. And so as Caitlin got better, obviously we had to change our strategy and how we defended her. As the team started to get better, I remember, I think we played them 3 times in the first 2 weeks of the season. And, after game 3, it's like everybody just needs to relax. Like they just need some time. They're young, like chill out, let them be, let them grow. Right. And they did. And she did. She's an incredibly hard worker. She's a high IQ player. She's a perfectionist. Like she wants to get better. She lives in the gym. And so you knew that growth was going to take place, and having the opportunity to watch her on a daily basis and how she approaches the work. Like there are work ethics and there are work styles, right? And a work style of not wasting reps, of not wasting time, of being very intentional about a growth process, and very intentional about details. And so you can tell that in the results that she's had throughout her career, but to really see that on a daily basis has been impressive. And of course, it's you want to work with players like that, right? Like part of coaching and part of filling your cup in coaching is not just working with great players and working with great people, but it's how they go to work and how they show up. Like watching them work every day. These guys, this is a competitive group. This is a selfless group. This is a high energy group that fills our cup every day. And so when you get into those moments where it's really difficult, right, when it's a struggle, because it always is, it's a journey, knowing that you get to go to work with a group of women who are not just great at what they do, who are not just great human beings, but because of how they approach the everyday, they fill you up. I mean, it's just, there's, they've been on a lot of different teams. I've been around a lot of different teams, and there's just no greater compliment than to walk into work every day knowing that you're getting your cup filled.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. We'll go next to Sarah. Sarah, go ahead.
Hi, ladies. Thanks for the time. Sarah Germano with the information. At the WNBA draft press conference last month, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert mentioned one of her priorities, the league's priorities for the year, is better tackling hate speech on social media and abuse that athletes get on social media. So to Caitlin and to DB, just wondering from both of you, if you have individual approaches to tackling that, and what, if anything, you would like to see the league or the social media platforms do to address this issue.
I mean, obviously, that's like zero tolerance for that. There's no need. I think people sometimes fail to realize that we have a life outside of basketball, and we are human. So be fans, first of all. That's what we're here to put on the show for you to enjoy. And we enjoy. This is what we love to do. So don't make it, about that. Don't make it miserable for us to play that. Don't make it to where we're dreading to go out there and put on the best show for you. So it's something that I think our organization, our team, and our locker room stick together and, stand up for. And we're going to continue to do that. And we enjoy this game. So we want to keep it that way. And I feel like we're going to continue to speak up on that.
Yeah, I think exactly what DB said. I appreciate Kathy and the league doing that. I think also our organization has done a tremendous job of getting out in front of those things too. Coach White has done a tremendous job. So I think keeping our locker room tight, but like DB said, there's no tolerance for that.
We'll turn to Eliza.
Eliza.
Hi, this is Eliza from the fashion publication Who What Wear. Thank you all for your time. This is for Caitlin. Last year, you were the first basketball player ever to be dressed by Prada at the draft, and continue to really elevate your style in the tunnel throughout your rookie season. What have you learned about your personal style by working with Prada regularly, as well as your stylist that you're taking into your sophomore season?
I didn't know we were answering fashion questions today. I wasn't ready for all this. Honestly, I think, well, Prada has become my favorite brand. Everybody knows that. I don't know. Honestly, I just kind of wear whatever my stylist tells me to. It makes it easy. It makes it easy to show up for games. But honestly, I think just finding what you're comfortable in and what you enjoy wearing, it makes game days fun. It doesn't have to always be stressful. I think at times it is stressful, but I think that's like a fun part of it. It's become more and more popular, but yeah, I'm sure you'll see me in Prada maybe a few more times. We'll have to wait and see, but a good question.
Excited for that. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you. All right, guys, we do have to cut this. I'm sorry, I do have time for one more. We're going to go to Navsarat, if you would, please.
Thanks. Sirat Zohi at The Ringer. Hey guys, I had a question for all of you if there's time. You guys have talked a lot about managing pressure, but it also feels like something that you guys have embraced. And I'm curious if you guys have talked about or think about just using pressure as a tool to your advantage.
I don't know where the pressure come from because we haven't proved anything yet. I think people just, media kind of run with it, honestly, and kind of create the pressure. But for us, I don't feel like we are the hunted. We are the huntee kind of mentality because, roster can look really good on paper, but it's going to be the work that we put in, and we know that. So I don't really think that this team has pressure. We're just trying to figure out how we can put it all together to be successful, just like every other team in this league. But maybe Caitlin have something different.
There's always expectations and, pressure to perform. And at the end of the day, like, we play basketball because we love it, and we've done it all our life. And I think just reminding ourselves of that, we understand the spotlight. We understand, people expect this team to win, and that's exactly what we want to do for our fans and for this organization. But I think me personally, like, I wouldn't want it any other way. Like, we get to show up every single night and there's people cheering for us, and you get to play the game you love. So if there is that pressure, you do feel that pressure, I think that's just something you embrace. Like, that's always what I've tried to remind myself over the course of my career is, you just rise to the occasion because you wouldn't want it any other way.
I mean, I agree. I think pressure's a privilege. The reason that we all started in this game was because we love it. We enjoy it. But we're hungry to be our best as individuals, and we're hungry to be our best as a team. So I don't think there's any one person entity that can put more pressure on us than we put on ourselves to be that. But there's also, to DB's point, like, we haven't done anything. We haven't won anything. We haven't accomplished anything. And so for us and for our coaches, our ability to make sure that we understand, what happens outside this building, what happens outside the locker room, we can't control that, right? We control what's inside our locker room. We control what's inside our building, what's inside our practices. And every day that is a hunger and a drive and a competitive spirit to be better. We know that we're not going to be a championship contender in May. We have to take it one step at a time. We have to stack our days. We have to continue to hold ourselves and each other accountable. We've got to continue to be selfless. We've got to continue to build, and this team is hungry. But so many things have to fall in line, right? And so we're just going to put one foot in front of the other, and we're just going to continue to get better. And we're going to continue to focus on us and the things that we can control.